Guys, this is Bix. Just a quick alert. The Fed has just closed the largest repo operation yet. So the bailouts of the banks are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, as opposed to them saying, oh, no, it was just because people needed cash to pay their corporate taxes on the 15th. That is ridiculous. They lied. And now we can see it in full-fledged. Here we go. Today's repo operation, $91 billion submitted. And again, only 75 was accepted, meaning, what's that? 17 billion in repo money was not given. So, who are the deciders? Theoretically, it's a bid process. Who knows what's being built out behind the scenes? But here's a cool graph of this. It's the heaviest demand yet for the new Fed liquidity spigot. Look at how it's growing. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And yesterday I showed you this chart of when these things are planned. Again, they're doing 75 billion in overnight repos. So it's a 24-hour loan. That 75 billion is just regurgitated. Somebody asked me, well, maybe the Fed is buying these assets, and at the end of the repo, they're taking it on their balance sheet and actually selling to the bank who pledged their assets. No, I don't think that's happening. If it was happening, because there's no purchase option, it would have to be a default by a bank, and that adds, obviously they don't want the world to see that, so that's not going to happen. But then they did add the $30 billion 14-day term loan. And I hadn't really looked into that yet, even though it happened, there was one available yesterday. So I did some searching around and I did find it. If you go to the Fed website, Fed New York website, in repos and reverse repos, there's what happened today, the 91 billion that was submitted and 75 accepted. And if you go down a little farther, right in one day, there it is, the 14-day, so it's 14 calendar days and 10 working days. But look at this is the 30 billion that was put up, made available to the banksters on Tuesday. 30 billion was put up, and look at the subscription. The amount submitted for the 14-day was more than double what was offered. 62 billion was submitted, and only 30 was offered. It is insane. These banks are failing before our very eyes. These are short-term bailouts. Again, October, we're going to see a congressional decision made. Will we bail out the banks again? I don't know how much it will be. If they keep the lid on everything and they keep the stock market rigged where it is and commodity markets rigged and crypto markets rigged, I think it'll only be 1 to 2 trillion. If things start going sideways and it's emergency bailout in front of Congress, we're looking at 20 trillion. And I'm hoping, and I don't think it will happen. I think people have learned that these banks are criminals. And luckily, Congress does not get along at all. So this is a huge deal. This is gigantic stuff going on behind the scenes. Someone's saying the plumbing is all plugged. Absolutely. And who is saying the plumbing is plugged? Former Fed official Kocherlakatoka signals concern for repo market. Former Federal Reserve policymaker Narayana Kocherlakatola said that while the recent disruptions in U.S. money markets won't undermine the central bank's ability to achieve its goals, they underscore that something is wrong with the plumbing of the financial system. In an opinion piece for Bloomberg published Wednesday, the former Minneapolis Fed president said, "The deeper issue is that since the financial crisis, regulatory reforms have constrained the ability of flush banks to lend and of tight banks to borrow. While the central bank can temporarily inject cash into the markets to control short-term rates," Kocherlaka said, "it's hard to understand how funding markets will respond to future shocks," basically saying, get ready October. The Fed has been injecting liquidity into the system since September 17th, when the rate on overnight general collateral repurchase agreements jumped 10%, about 4 times greater than usual levels as cash reserves were out of balance with the volume of securities on dealer balance sheets. The New York Fed conducted another overnight repo operation on Wednesday morning, taking the maximum amount of $75 billion, with dealers submitting $92 billion in assets. The overnight rates have retreated from record levels. General collateral repo has climbed back above 2% and was trading around 2.09%. Yes, it is all falling apart. Absolutely 100%. And the oversubscribed by double of the 14-day bailout is a sign that absolutely, when this stops in early October, something permanent is going to have to be put in place. The whole the chilled attitude of the Fed at the last meeting was ridiculous. There is serious problems going on behind the scenes, and this is where you can see it. Absolutely. Just think about it. The banks begged for a bailout of $62 billion just at last for 14 days. What happens the day after the 14 days are up? They either put out another one or they do something permanent. I think they're going to be doing some permanent stuff in October. Hang on to your hats, my friends. And if you want any information on this stuff, hit the search function, especially market manipulation. Search for silver price rigging. Absolutely, 100% it is rigged. I had some comments on the chat room saying, "Oh, what are you doing? Saying sell some silver and buy some cryptos." Hey, I love cryptos and I love silver. When one is even more egregiously rigged than the other, like right now the cryptos are compared to silver, I'm going to sell a little bit of silver to buy some cheap cryptos, and vice versa, which I did when the cryptos were going crazy. I sold a little bit of cryptos to buy some silver to try to balance out my portfolio, because one is massively rigged lower right now. The last 7 days, most cryptos are down 30 to 40%. If I thought it was good to hold the balance of cryptos versus silver I held a week ago, obviously I would buy more cryptos now and even sell a little bit of silver to get some cryptos. And when the cryptos double from where they are now, extremely low, I'll sell some cryptos and buy some silver. That's the way it's done, my friends. I'm not a trader, I'm a hodler, but I'm hodling silver and I'm hodling cryptos. I'm not selling anything for fiat money. Let's get that straight. This is swapping cryptos for gold. I mean, cryptos for silver and gold for silver. Yes, if I had, I videotaped myself swapping my last gold ounce for silver. That was a great move. I got 80 ounces of silver. In the future, you're going to say, "Damn, Bix, that was the greatest move ever," when silver and gold are 4-1. And when Litecoin and Bitcoin are 4-1. You can say, "Wow, that was a brilliant move." We will see, right? All right. So things are falling apart. Hang tight on the road to Ruta. The prices will start to go crazy. The next thing to happen is the computer trading models are going to fight each other. And that's going to be really scary because you won't know the price of anything. Yes, they can click a mouse and put the price of everything to 0 if they want. So hang on tight.
Here's a true story about a man just like you. He worked his whole life, he was honest and true. Built up a nest egg the way they said to. Invest in the market, money works for you. And everything is fine, picking the winners every time. Started to believe he could make dollars out of dime. Little did he know he's being primed for a fall. The riggers let you play, then the riggers steal the ball. We want free markets, not a million phantom trades. Lest everyone's honest, we're gonna lose what we made. Got to shut down exchanges, trade one for one. We want free markets, well, our work's just begun. Free markets are the road to freedom. Capitalism, not as bad as they say. The world has never tried it, rigging markets every day. Socialists fail every time in every way. Need a better system to forge a better day. We want free markets, not a million phantom trades. Lest everyone's honest, we're gonna lose what we made. We gotta shut down exchanges till they trade one for one. We want free markets, our work's just begun. Free markets are the road to freedom. I said free markets are the road to freedom. There's a crypto solution, if only done right. We can take out the liars, bring dark into light, and trust in the math, not the people who lie. I think we can make it if we give it a try. We want free markets, not a million phantom trades. Lest everyone's honest, we're gonna lose what we made. We gotta shut down exchanges till they trade one for one. We want free markets, our work's just begun. 'Cause free markets are the road to freedom. I said free markets are the road to freedom. Free markets are the road to freedom.